Okay, here's how you retrofit this Twist-A-Throttle system onto a Stihl trimmer. This is a model FC110, but it will work with all Stihls that have the same diameter shaft size and this similar throttle type system. So what you're going to need first off is a T20 Torx head, a T25 Torx head, and a T27 Torx head. So, first thing, roll it over onto its side, and you're going to take your your T20, and loosen these 4 screws, or take these 4 screws out right here. So you've got this one, this one, this one, and that one. Pop this top cover off, and you can take your 25 and loosen these 2 right here. You don't have to take them all the way out, just loosen them. Give them a little bit of play in there. Just enough to give it some wiggle room. Then take your 27 and loosen this nut right here that holds the power head onto the shaft. So once you get that loosened, the trigger system and the power head will slide free from the shaft. Just like that. Once you get the power head and the trigger assembly separated from the shaft, you take your T27 nut driver. We're going to take this top cover off so that we can get down to the wiring. And it's one here, and then there's 2 on the front and 1 on the back. So you got these 2 here, 1 on either side. And then 1 back here. Pull this spark plug wire, just kind of push it through, and that whole top cover comes off. So the next step is to get the throttle cable separated from this plastic housing. So how you do that is this plastic piece here just kind of pops up. It's held in tension by this spring right here. Just pop that up, that whole thing comes off. So some of the older style have this Z-bend is what keeps it in contact with the actual trigger itself. Some of the newer style ones have, it's like a little ball at the end of the cable. Both of those are okay. Pull that Z-bend out of there, set that off to the side. Pull this up.
Slide that whole thing.
This goes to your kill switch, which runs directly back here to your coil to kill power to it when you want to shut it off. So there's your kill switch. So now that you get it to this point, you're ready to start reassembling with the new throttle system. Okay, so to prep this for the throttle system, if yours has one of these little Z-bend ends on the end of that throttle cable, you're going to have to cut off just this last bend. And so to do that, you just take a pair of side cutters, wire cutters, just get right there at the end, just snip that off. Okay. The other thing you're going to want to do is the new system comes with a new plastic loom, so you can peel this plastic loom off and discard it. Probably going to have to cut that off because there's not a... Be careful not to cut your wires in here. Just run that razor blade. There you go. Separate your kill wire from your throttle cable. The new throttle system comes with this new throttle setup, the Twist-A-Throttle motorcycle style throttle that will slide up onto this shaft. And then you have a new kill switch that will go directly to the coil. The only retrofitting that you're going to have to do is you will have to either put new ends, these style ends onto this cable, or cut these ends off, and just solder these two together. Once that happens, then you're ready for reassembly, and it's as simple as sliding this onto the shaft, sliding this on behind it, sliding the new shaft into the power head, and then hooking everything up. Give us just a second and we'll show you how to do all of that. Okay, so let's work on this kill switch. All right, so because the ends that come on the Twist-A-Throttle kill switch are that style and these are the clamp style, we're going to cut these two cables and cut these two ends off, and then we're going to solder these on. So what you want to do is get you a pair of wire cutters and give yourself, it doesn't matter, just a little bit of room out here to work. Cut that one there, cut that one there, and then this old system here can go in the trash. Get you some wire cutters, peel back a little bit of that wire. Do the same on this one. Just kind of twist those, keep them from fraying. Then we're going to do the same thing on the new style kill switch. Just cut these ends off right at those connectors. And do the same. Strip that wire back. All right, let me get the soldering gun set up and I'll show you what to do next. So we've got all our wires stripped back now. We've taken little short pieces of heat shrink wrap. That's what you're going to do. To make things simple, we're going to go black to black. Just twist these together. Move that out of the way. Like so. And then run A little bit of solder on here. And do the same for the other side. Come on now. There we go. All right, I'm going to grab a better soldering gun. That one there seems to be having some issues. There we go. Much better. All right. Let them cool off just a little bit. And okay. Fold both of those over. Slide your heat wrap up over your connections. And use a heat gun. Melt that heat wrap. right, now your new kill switch is installed, ready to be put on the shaft for reassembly. So once you're ready to start reassembling this, you're going to take a 5/32 Allen head, take these 2 screws completely out. Don't lose those because you'll need them here in just a minute. As I say that. Then these 2 pieces come apart. All right, so the first thing, this one right here, so unscrew this out. You can see that there's a notch that runs all the way through this. Now, this screw will screw around, but you need to make sure it lines up on that notch. And then just set that over the throttle cable itself. And run this end through that hole. And then just put it down on there like that. We'll come back to that here in just a second. So with this throttle system, you've got a groove that goes all the way around, and then there's a little notch right here on the end. So you can set this up to be ambidextrous. It can be a left-handed throttle or it can be right-handed throttle. So if you're going to set it up, because I'm right-handed, we're going to set this up to be right-handed. So you're going to go around if you're looking at the back of the throttle system itself, you're going to go on the right side to make it right-handed. So you set this right down into that groove, and then this will come over and just sit right down on that. Take your other end, set it down on top of it just like so. Make sure your screws are lined up and screw them in. Don't get them all the way tight yet because you're going to have to slide this up over the shaft. Once we get it installed on there, we'll tighten everything down where it needs to be. So all of this is going to go on the bottom end. So you slide that up on there like so. And you take your kill switch, slide it up on there. Of course. Loosen this up just a little bit. Give me some more room in there. Slide it up onto that shaft as well. So push these both up a little ways so that you can get some room down in here to slide this power head back up onto this shaft. Okay. Once you get it slid up on there, you take your T27, tighten that back up, make sure it holds in place. Okay, so now you position these where you want them up on this shaft.
Need to slide back toward the end.
It's about where I would want it, because all of your weight is back here on this end. So as you're holding it, You want it to be somewhat balanced, but that's about right there. So now I'm going to flip this over so that I can tighten all of this down. All right. Once you have all of that tightened down, we'll adjust this. Okay, so off camera, because of that Z-bend in this cable, we had to cut the second bend out of it. You saw that already. But we put a little bit of solder down in here to hold that cable in to make sure that that Z-bend doesn't come out of this little notch. The other Stihl has this little ball on the end of the throttle cable itself. That ball will slide right into this, and there's no need for any other modification. So if yours has this, skip this step. You do not have to do that. But if you have that Z-bend, just drop a little bit of solder in there to make sure that that cable stays where it should. So then go to reassemble here. Make sure that wire stays in that groove. Get it lined up just like that. Slide your other piece over top. Screw it down in place. Make sure we've got those adjusted where they need to be. Get everything tightened down good. All right, so once you've got all of this installed, let's give it a test, make sure it works. All right, so now the throttle system is installed. Take the included loom, you can button all these wires back up, keep it all nice and tight, make it look good, put your cover back on, and you're good to go. So this is what the system looks like completely installed. You can see where we've cleaned up all of these wires into this loom that's included with it. We've installed the kill switch and the throttle system. The simplicity is in its design. It is a very little throw to go from full throttle back to idle. And there's a whole lot less moving parts in this to go wrong. Thank you guys for your purchase of the Twist-A-Throttle system. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at 918-443-9393. Thank you.